Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel, labor and delivery nurse by day, and all the other hours of the week I pretty much read books. I will just show you little Miss Snuffleupagus down here because she's gonna probably be making weird noises, so I feel like it's good to know what it is that's making those noises. So I was thinking about going to bed because I have to work early in the morning, but instead I thought I would come and do my March review. Because why not? Oh, she's jumpy. Okay, so I haven't counted how many books or like what my favorite book is or anything like that. So this is just like, let's just get this done. So my first audiobook that I listened to, and this was like kind of leftover from March, this was Tokyo Ever After. So basically Princess Diaries retelling, but in Japan. So it was entertaining. It was super predictable. The audiobook was cute, but knocked over my water. But again, super predictable. I don't know. I gave it a 3. So not bad, not good. I mean, good, not amazing. Not like shout it from the rooftops. Then I read The German Midwife by Mandy Robotham. So this is one that was recommended to me years ago because I'm a labor and delivery nurse. So this is a Jewish nurse who's taken out of, well, she's not Jewish. She's not Jewish, but she's in a concentration camp because she assisted Jews, who is taken because Adolf Hitler's mistress, Eva Braun, is going to have a baby. I really like this story. I thought it moved well. There's quite the twist at the end. I figured it was going to be something like that at the end, but I didn't know what it was going to be. I thought it was a really great, like, ethical dilemma. Like, what do you do as a midwife? And it was pretty accurate as far as, like, labor and delivery medicine. So I gave this one 4 stars. The next one I read was Lumberjanes Volume 1. So this was a graphic novel that I read in like 30 minutes. It's cute. It's these girls that are like at summer camp, but then there's all these like mythical beings running at them all of a sudden. So I feel like it will be a very entertaining series. I think there's quite a few of them. I think I gave it like 4 stars. I gave it 3 stars. So I think it was just because I was quite confused. Like there wasn't much backstory. It just like started. So I would read more of them though, definitely. Then I listened to The Bodyguard by Catherine Senner. I gave this one 5 stars, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I gave it 4 stars. What, oh, yeah, I just said that it dragged a little bit at the end. It would have been 5 stars, but the end got a little strange. But the banter in this was so good. So I don't really want to like give it away, but I guess you could read the book flap. But I knew nothing going into this, and that I think made it better because I saw The Bodyguard and I thought it was like, and the cover, it kind of looks like, I don't know, maybe she's like a country singer and he's a bodyguard. False. He is an actor and she is the bodyguard. Chaos ensues. It's great. I love Catherine Senner. I pretty much give all of her books 5 stars. So this one, let's say 4.5, because I don't actually know why I took off that half star. In my heart, it's a 5 star now, in hindsight. And I've read some worse books since, so maybe that's why I just am feeling like it's better now. But I would definitely recommend anything by Catherine Senner. I love the way she writes. And then I finally got to read the 5th book in the Truly Devious series. So the first 3 books in the series are a girl in high school solving a murder that took place on her school campus in like the 30s. And then more murders take place. And those are like 5 out of 5. Love those books. I mean, maybe 4 out of 5, but love them. And then the third one and the 4th and the 5th are both different murders in different locations. So same like cast of characters. It's just like she's not your like average hero. Like she's messy. She has panic attacks. It's just good. They're good. So, I mean, even though they're like a pretty big book, it's like big words, reads fast, short chapters, which is a way to get me to turn pages. So I gave that one 4 stars. And then I listened to The Cartographers for book club. We haven't met about this yet, but I really liked this. It was such a good audiobook. I had, again, absolutely no idea going into it what it was about. I figured it was about cartographers, so maps. I thought maps would theme heavily in here. So I did not see, there's kind of like a supernatural spin to it. I'm not going to give it away, but it was really good. I liked it a lot. I don't think that it took away. I thought it just enhanced it. It's like there's a main storyline, and then there's like chapters in between that are other perspectives, and that is super fascinating because you get a lot more like backstory. There's a murder that they're trying to solve. This girl's trying to figure out, so the main character's dad is murdered, and he like headed up the map division at New York Public Library, maybe, somewhere big. And they were estranged because of something over a map. So that's all I'm going to give you. It was good. It was pretty long, but it was very good. It kept me very interested. It was one of those books that it was like, oh, I get to listen to my book on tape. So audiobook, not a book on tape. So that was a good one. I gave that one 4 stars. And then I listened to Tunnel of Bones by V.E. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab, which is her other name that she writes under when she writes junior fiction. So this is her junior fiction series. The first was City of Ghosts, I believe. So the main character is like 12, 13 years old and can see ghosts. Her best friend is a ghost. And then she learns how to, send them to the other side in the first book. So in the second book, they're in Paris and she meets some other spirits. It's kind of like Wednesday Addams vibes, right? Like, it's a good story, kind of a mystery, but it's also like kind of dark, which I like. So I gave that one 4 stars. It was entertaining. It's really short too, which I love. 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. And then a book that I went out and bought because it has been so far behind on all of the reading lists, and I know that it is coming out in a movie at some point. I haven't looked to see who's cast in it, but you may have heard of Taylor Jenkins Reid because of Daisy Jones and the Six, which I highly, highly recommend. I read the book years ago, when it came out. I have watched the show twice through now. And my sister had more recently read the book and was a little bit more thrown off by the things that were changed. I had read the book long enough ago that I really just had vibes going into it, and I loved it. Love it. Love the 70s vibes, the clothes, the music, the characters. They were cast very well. So, yeah, highly recommend. So I love all Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. So One True Loves is one that is going to be made into a movie. And I, again, went into this book having no idea, absolutely no idea. So I was shocked when I got to the end of the first chapter, and there's the little cliffhanger, but it actually says it on the back cover. So sometimes it's nice to not know so you can just fast forward through this if you don't want to know. So in her first chapter, she talks about how she has a fiance and a husband, and it's oh, that sounds messy, right? But then you get to the end of the chapter, and it talks about how her husband was lost in a plane crash 3 years ago, and now he's back. And they had him declared dead and everything. So she didn't just move on and get messy. It was a real reason to move on. But this book it read so fast. It was so good. The way that the two men were both such good characters. So, it's kind of like The Notebook, where you actually like both of the guys. They're both good. But, it could have gone either way. I liked the ending but it really could have gone either way, and I think I would have supported it because she wrote both of the characters so well. So cannot wait to watch this when it comes out on video. I really hope that they cast it well. And also, I just said video, and I said book on tape. I'm like back in the 90s, guys. Just thinking about the 90s. All right, so I gave that one 4 stars. Why did I give it 4 stars? I don't know. I don't know why I gave it 4. 4.5, 5. Let's go for it. Like, loved it. And then I have The Well of Ascension. So this was pretty daunting fantasy book that I've had on my list for a long time. I own this book, and I just kept putting it off because it's just a lot of pages. It's like 800 pages. And pretty, I mean, they're actually not that small of letters, but so this is the second in the Mistborn series. The Mistborn series, it was a lot of world building in the first book, like so much world building. But then in the end, there was such a huge twist. And this was a lot of like political like intrigue. And then at the end, there were multiple huge twists. So just, gosh, Brandon Sanderson, you know how to write these books, man. I gave it 5 stars. The twist, the world building, it's worth it. It's worth the pages. And it's not like super descriptive where you're just bored like I have been in some fantasy books. So I am very excited to read the third one. I have it. And I think there's 3 more as well. So I'm just living this series a book at a time because it does take a while to read these. And I feel like it's just like fantasy like that, when it's that deep of a world, you have to like get back into it, like learn the characters. You just really live in it for a while. All right. And then I listened to a book that I've heard really great things about. Would not recommend. Do not read this. The Fine Print. Whoop, whoop. By Lauren Asher. So this is the first in the Dreamland Billionaires. The other covers are like, it's kind of like a castle looking, like an architectural castle. I was very drawn in by the covers. I heard good things about them, that they were spicy and good. No. I hated both of the main characters. So right away, you know that there's going to be a problem there. The girl was annoying, like super annoying. The guy was borderline abusive. Like, there were a lot of lines in there that I was like, I need to write this down. And I was never like near a pen or anything. So just like very like jealous, very like overpowering of her, and like, you're mine, like property, not like in a sweet way. Yeah, it just didn't, and like the smut wasn't even good. I think I disliked the character so much that the smut was not good. So, I gave it 2 stars. I did listen the whole way through. The premise wasn't even bad. It was like enemies to lovers, and it's like, so he like is inheriting Disney, you know, like Dreamland, which is Disney. And there's stipulations. So there's 2 more for the 2 brothers. I just don't think I can read them with how bad that was. I'm sorry. Just no. There's so much better books out there. I just cannot waste my time on these anymore. And then I finally got to It Starts With Us. So I read It Ends With Us a long time ago, before Colleen Hoover got like this huge wave of fame. I liked it. I gotta say, I like know the overall storyline, but I did not really remember the Atlas character. It came back when I started reading this. This was like a one sitting. I think maybe I ate lunch in the middle, so I did get up. But it was a quick read. It was cute. It was really nice to know that like they didn't try to like sugarcoat it. Like when you get out of an abusive relationship, there's still lots to deal with, especially when you share a child together. And then there was also another really cool, like Atlas's backstory, Atlas's family story. So I really liked this. I gave it 4 stars. And yeah, I don't know that this would have like stood alone very well. Like this is feel like this is clearly like her love story to the fans of the first one. So like, I think it would be hard to really enjoy this book if you didn't know the characters already. Okay, and then I read Talking Back to Purity Culture with this. We read this as a book club. I've been interested in this because I grew up in the deep purity culture, like every youth group. It's just talking about being pure. And like, when you take that rose and you smush it, and it will never be the same. Yep. Yeah, that happened. We did that in church. So this book, there's a lot that I liked about this book. I feel like this book, there were some things that I just don't know. It's a very conservative view. So there's a chapter on homosexuality, it's homosexuality, infertility, and singleness, which I did appreciate them addressing singleness in the church and how, purity culture is very much promises that if you stay pure, you're going to suddenly find the love of your life. You're going to have lots of sex and babies and wealth and wholeness, and everything's going to be perfect if you just save yourself for marriage, right? So I did really like that she covered that in one of the chapters, of like same-sex attraction and I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but so she addressed the same-sex attraction. It's a very conservative view. And then she addresses singleness. So like if you're single in the church, like you have purpose, you can still be pure. Your purity is more about Jesus than about trying, like being pure so that you can have money, good sex, babies. And then also like infertility. You've been promised that like these things are gonna come to you, and then you find the love of your life and you saved yourself and you can't have babies. So yeah, I like how she addressed those topics. She talks about like how sexually abused people, like what they hear in the church and how they get hurt by some of the purity culture. So yeah, did I rate this book? I gave this a 4-star rating, but it's just a really hard one to rate because I don't feel like she necessarily gives like fixes for it. It's more like we need to just love Jesus and be pure for Jesus. But it is interesting to see the hurt that purity culture caused. So it's interesting. And then just switching thoughts. Well, actually, kind of staying on the same vein, actually. Kind of. Okay, so I read Beth Moore's All My Knotted Up Life. So Beth Moore, if you don't know, is a prolific Bible study writer. She has a Baptist background. I actually just finished doing her Daniel study, and I really liked it. She's very entertaining. Just like such a great storyteller. Has such a good perspective on life. In the Daniel Bible study, there are like hour-long videos with every week, and she hints some about her like sexual trauma in the past and mental illness, and so I was very interested to read this book. It was narrated by her, which was great. I don't really feel like I can give a memoir stars, but then I went ahead and did that in another 4 or 5. I don't like, it was written well. It was a good story. Yeah, I would recommend this. I don't want to give away the whole story, but she had kind of a messed up life. She said a lot of things happened to her. I don't feel like she really addressed a lot of what happened recently when she kind of stood up to like authority figures in the church and basically left the Baptist church. But yeah, it was a very entertaining book. So that's a good memoir that I read. I did star it for myself and it was 5. I just didn't put it up online. Now we're switching gears really far. So this is Dark Dawn by Jay Kristoff. This is the third in the Nevernight series. So it's Nevernight, God's Grave, and Dark Dawn. Just 5 out of 5. Like 10 out of 5. I love this series so much. It's a little bit hefty and the words are super small, but it reads so fast. Like, this is a book that I read in a few days. And I would have read faster if I didn't have construction workers all over my house. But yeah, so this wraps up Mia Corvera's story. I don't feel like I can say much about it. So she is like on a mission to avenge her family who was murdered. Twists, many twists. Were they her family? So I can't really even tell you what this book is about because I did not see it coming. There's a lot of like lore about the suns and like the gods that are the suns. There's 3 suns and the night. So she is like chosen by the god of night. And that's why she's dark. But yeah, just so many twists in this book. So many. I loved it. And she's a badass. She like murders people. She was trained as an assassin in the first book. And then in the second book, she's a gladiator. And now she's getting all of her revenge. So she's just killing a lot of people. Not that she didn't before, but. And she becomes a pirate queen at one point. So if you like fantasy, I highly recommend Dark Dawn. And the whole Nevernight series. And then I have I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. So I did not watch iCarly. So I don't actually, because I didn't have Nickelodeon. We didn't have cable. And then I think I was a little bit too old for it too. So Jeanette McCurdy was pushed into acting by her abusive mother. She didn't realize she was abusive until after she died of cancer. And yeah, she has a lot of trauma from that. She didn't actually want to act. So, yeah. And then this deals with all of her eating disorders and things that her mother traumatized her with. So, I gave it 4 stars. Again, it's really hard to rate a memoir. And I think maybe, like, I would have given it 5 stars if I had watched iCarly and was, like, closer to her, right? Like, you know that if Taylor Swift writes a memoir, she's getting 5 stars. No matter what. So, yeah, I would recommend this one. It was written very well. Just a lot of trauma that your mother can cause you. And, like, nobody else really intervened. I think that's, like, her grandparents, her dad, everybody was kind of complicit in this. It's awful. And then the last book I read in March is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. This would have been 5 stars, but I did not like the ending, and I didn't like it so much that I felt like I had to take a star off because it just went from like, this is amazing to, okay. Like, just so much sexual tension built up, and then there's, like, no smut. Just, like, there needed to be more at the end. Yeah, I didn't like the ending. I don't want to give it away, but I didn't really like the ending. But the 2 characters, so they are best friends. They've been best friends forever, but they both love each other. And then they pretend to date because, why do they pretend to date? They go somewhere and someone thinks he's her girlfriend and the publicity is amazing. So, and she needs money and his publicist just wants him to do it. And he really wants to get with her. So he's like, yeah, I will pretend to be her boyfriend. So yeah, I gave this one 4 out of 5. Just too bad about that ending though. And the audiobook was really good. I really liked, the narrators. Which sometimes with romance, the narrators just really ruin it. Like, sexual tension can be ruined if you don't like someone's voice. So those are my March reads. So, yeah, I feel like fantasy really won this month, you know? So yeah, don't be surprised if one of these is the winner of the month. It's a weird month. Weird month. I got a lot of memoirs and stuff. And it's my birthday week, my birthday month. So April is. So I will be reading a bunch of good books hopefully this month because I just want to read books that sound really good. I finished a 5-star today. So we're off to a good start for April. So I will see you at the end of April with my April reads.